And we're back. We're on for real this time.
That's hard.
We're on for real. Manaz the man, the myth, the legend,
Yeah.
has graced me with his presence.
I'm happy to be here, bro.
I don't even think you need an introduction.
Oh, but someone probably doesn't know who I am. Give me the introduction.
So, for everyone that doesn't know, Manaz is an South Australian staple in the Aussie in the hip hop scene in general.
Mm.
Would you say that's fair?
No, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Being modest?
No.
You want to say you're the best. You're the best in Adelaide.
Yeah, I'm a lot of things to a lot of different people, mate.
So, let everyone know a bit about you. Like, where'd you come from?
I grew up in Port Lincoln on the west coast initially. Came up around the early to mid 2010s through the battle rap scene. That's where a lot of people are probably familiar with me from.
What age did you start?
Oh, I was young, bro. It was
Yeah.
probably like year 9 or something like that. So like 13, 14, I started rapping and freestyling. Around probably like my early 20s when I really made a name for myself and had the impact like nationally. And yeah, since the battle shit, I've transitioned. Well, I was always making music. The battle stuff was my way of making a name for myself for the music to have a platform. But yeah, I've sort of stepped away from that, and my primary focus is, making music these days.
And so you've stepped completely away from the battle rap scene.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do it again?
Nah, I've done everything.
You wanted to do it?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think there's a sort of been a pretty massive societal change between, from when I started to where it is now. And I don't know how much of a space there is in society at the moment for the battle rap scene. There's definitely still pockets of it in the world where it's thriving, particularly in America and the UK. But here, because Australian music and hip hop is always a few years behind, there kind of isn't that. It hasn't sort of graduated to that space to where it's graduated from some of the humor and the things that were acceptable to say 10 years ago versus what you can do now. There's a skill gap and there's a gap in the content.
Yeah. And I've always wondered with like battle rapping. It's because it's a totally different skill set to like rapping a song, isn't it?
100.
Or writing a song.
Facts.
Is any like battle raps? Is it fair to say like 80% of it's like memory and the other 20 is like improvisation?
Yeah, look, different people rely on different things. I was always like one of my strengths was freestyle rebuttals.
Yeah.
I think if you're aware of like my impact on the culture and you're aware of my contributions, then you would probably tend to agree. Most people, there's a lot of people who don't freestyle or improvise at all. They're just very written, and that's fine. But for me, I found there's something tremendously powerful about taking your opponent's strongest line and flipping it against them. So
that's and fucking another like really impressive thing is like in the battle rap scene, I imagine a lot of it is a lot of people's insults or a lot of like what they're talking about is looks based or like pretty generic. Like you would have to really think about your bars.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
kind of rip them apart from the inside because you can't just go, oh, you got fucking ganky teeth and like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I often was jealous of people who could just be like,
it feels like that's like the easier way out.
Yeah, man, it used to be easy. You could just be like, you look like a lamer version of a famous person. You know what I mean? And people would lose it. And it did make me be a bit more creative. But realistically, in the written era, there was probably because there's a few eras of battle rap. There was the freestyle over beats, so that is like the classic 8 Mile format that people in mainstream culture will be familiar with, and then there's the evolution of that, which is a cappella, no beat, pre-written, where it sort of graduated a bit more from the looks-based stuff. There were people who still did that stuff, and they did it really well, but as it progressed, it kind of got significantly more more intricate and more complex. And to this day, some of the biggest artists in the world are very obviously influenced by battle rap lyricism. It is definitely
Yeah.
the pinnacle of like pushing the envelope in terms of wordplay and stuff like that.
See, I remember there was that. I don't know if he's still alive. There was that motherfucker Blind Fury. Bro,
He's still alive, right?
Is
yeah.
he?
Yeah,
Is he still rapping?
yeah. He's still putting out freestyle videos and stuff.
Dude, he used to fuck cunts up.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a fucking weapon back in the day.
They tried to get us to battle a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that would be fucking dope.
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't know. I think when they were trying to make it happen, his prominence was maybe less significant. I felt like I was sort of tried and tested in the format, whereas he was very tried and tested in the previous battle format. And it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, I don't really, on paper it sounds fun to you guys, but I don't really know what I would say to this guy. Like,
Yeah. And fucking, you also, I seen today, have that delicious blue check mark next to your name on Spotify.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You're the only person I know with a blue tick.
It's not hard to get it, bro. Like,
Isn't it?
Nah, it's not. I'm very sure if it was hard to get, I wouldn't have one.
Yeah. And like, so you grew up, so you started like the rap scene with battle rapping in Port Lincoln. Was that got like around? Did Got Beef used to go up there and stuff?
Nah, bro, no. It was just so when I started, there was not me like really much rap at all. Like. So I would be rapping and freestyle. I used to freestyle in a back of science class over the end of Shook Ones Part 2 because it had a really long instrumental. We didn't even...
The greatest beat of all time, some might say.
Yeah, something like that. But we didn't really have instrumentals or nothing like that. It was 2003. We're fucking 12, 13, you know what I mean? And then, some of the popular kids would write some insults down and I would just freestyle rebuttal and they'd read their little insults off paper and I'd burn them and... It was fun, and then it kind of graduated. Eventually, I moved over here and hit the freestyle battle circuit, which is where I met Larry, where we butted heads and turned a friendship from a we were arch nemesis,
Oh, no shit. Is it Larry Larrikin?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit. So that's how you...
That's how we met. We hated each other.
No, who won?
Well, I probably took a few battles, but they were very heated, very easily contested, and I wouldn't... not easily contested, sorry. They were very closely contested, and I wouldn't be mad at anyone who said that, he won, but ultimately, we traded unpleasantries.
And how long ago, do you remember what year you moved down here?
It would have been 09 or 10.
Oh, 9 or 10, so you've been here for about 12, 13 years.
Yeah, but I moved to Melbourne in end of 2012 to pursue greener pastures, and then came back when I failed.
Melbourne's the wrong place to go for greener pastures.
No, it was
You
good.
liked it?
It was good, bro. It was definitely dope. I definitely had some great times, made some significant inroads in terms of my connections within the music industry.
I was going to say the hip-hop community is probably pretty big over there, eh?
Yeah, it was dope, bro, but it also came with sort of like other testing life circumstances. There was a lot of substance abuse and stuff at that time, so sort of managed to walk away before the costs became too major, and came back, and things have gone uphill. So.
Just fucking popping.
Yeah, well, I've always had a degree of buzz to my name, not anything near some of my contemporaries, but I've been consistent, and I think the thing about like what I do is I'm so sort of focused on connection and bringing value. I don't really. Can you turn your fucking phone off?
Sorry, it was on the it was on the table. It was fucking buzzing. I'm so sorry.
You're all good. Yeah, I've always been very focused. Like the thing that connected me with music and hip hop in particular was the personal connection to music. So I think, while maybe my fan base isn't as big as a lot of other artists, and my views don't equate to a lot of other artists' views, my connection with my fans is very strong, and I've been very fortunate in that regard. So even though I haven't been as consistent as I should have been throughout the years, I've been able to cultivate a pretty loyal following.
Yeah, you do have like a pretty diehard following.
Yeah, and it's
Anyone who listens to Aussie hip hop in South Australia, all fucking like everyone's like fucking Manaz is the dude. You're that guy.
yeah, I'm very very grateful to have sort of made that name for myself. And yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking good. And then now fast forward, and you got the whole like downtown deniros thing going on. Hometown deniros. Fuck, sorry, boys.
yeah,
So it's you, Goobsy, Larrikin, and
King
Monops.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's probably the next wave, the next chapter. You know, like if we have it my way, that's definitely a big focus moving forward. You know, obviously we still got solo careers and solo endeavors, but I definitely think we'd be remiss if we didn't pursue the opportunity to see what it does. You know, there's interest in the name. There's you know,
It's a fucking power. It's a good like group of boys. It's the ultimate boy band, really.
I actually said this to someone the other day.
You're a boy band.
Yeah, I was like, we should really come up with personas and you know, curate
A dance
like
routine.
like a thug boy band. You know what I mean? Like come up with like the
the common roles of a boy band.
but like on some gangster shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I think that'd be cool. Like,
that's got great like music video potential.
yeah,
For like a little comedy skit.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking good idea.
A little comedy skit. That's fucking dope. Yeah, and yeah. Was that your first song together? All of you in the same song on your new album?
We've all collaborated in you know various capacities. Probably not all four of us on the same track before, but that's probably it's the second track we've all done together. The first hasn't been released yet, but we've got one in the bank already. And as I was wrapping up this album, I was like, it seems like a pretty good opportunity to launch the brand, to have this you know name connected to my album. And
and sorry for cutting you off. Anyone who doesn't know, Man has dropped his album. Was it last Friday?
Yes,
Last Friday.
Save Yourself out now in
Save
your phone.
Yourself. Yeah, get it on Spotify.
Wherever you listen to music.
Wherever you listen to your music.
Or if you're so inclined and you're an old school MF, you can hit my Bandcamp, manazill.bandcamp. What is it? manazill.bandcamp.com/merch and cop a hard copy CD.
Oh, you are doing hard copies?
Yeah. They still seem to sell for me. You know, particularly when I tour and stuff like that. You know, but
People like CDs more for fucking sentimental value kind of thing nowadays, really, don't they?
I don't know what they do with them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't have a CD. I don't have a CD player.
Yeah, I don't either, bro. Like I'll cop like my mate's CDs out of support and stuff like that because it is it is an earner for artists. But I don't know what to do with that aside from be like I got your CD, bro.
Yeah, no, that's fucking cool, man. And are you planning you're planning a tour of some sort?
Yeah, the tour's been announced this week.
It has been announced.
Yeah, so Adelaide is at Jack and Jill's April 28th. Then we're going Perth and Hobart the next weekend, and Melbourne 2 weeks after that.
Perth fucking show up hard for hip hop shows, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I put up a post. In my experience, they always have, but I put up a post a few weeks ago just being like, if I was to do a tour, where should I go? And they were by far the most heavily represented the most heavily represented demographic in terms of localities. So.
Really? No New South Wales tour?
I will get to New South Wales and Brisbane, but I've got to go where it makes sense to go.
Yeah.
And at this moment, like my following isn't as big in Sydney, so it would kind of what I tend to do in I guess a developer market for my brand anyway, like that. I will tend to sort of link up with one of my more famous and successful mates and go then with them.
What's your thoughts on the current state of Australian hip hop? Because it's like there's like a real divide at the moment between like the new kind of sound or the drill kind of sound of Aussie hip hop, and then there's more like the old school Aussie hip hop heads, like say your sound and Monops' sound and all that. How do you think Aussie hip hop's going at the moment?
Well, it's a two-part question. First, I think I should say I feel like my sound's probably like it's not drill, but it's closer to a modernised sound than maybe the traditional Aussie hip hop sound. And secondly, it's beautiful, the state of it, bro. Like ultimately, there's there's space for everyone to do their thing, you know, irrespective of what your taste is.
Because some people would get, I imagine some like traditionalists and shit get real fucking filthy when things like when things evolve, people get dirty.
Yeah, but just listen to what you like. There's still
Yeah.
people making what you like. You don't have to listen to the shit you don't like. I love all of it because I think ultimately, as long as people are being true to themselves and they're representing their people, like there's space for it. It doesn't take away from anybody else's, contributions. The fact that there's more diversity in terms of the representation, everyone has space to live, you know. But that mind state is prevalent everywhere in the world, bro. Everybody feels like their piece of the pie is getting smaller. You know what I mean? And you know, you look at it on a societal level, and that same mind state is prevalent.
It's like that everywhere with everything though. Like
That's what I mean.
When things evolve and shit changes, people just fucking want to be part of like a team.
Yeah,
and then they want their team to be the biggest team and the best team. It's like, but no one gives. There's no real teams. Like nothing's real. Like none of that shit's real.
Yeah, and you got to come to a certain point and think like, you know, what were your parents' generation thinking when they heard hip hop? Do you know what I mean? And how did they sound to you? Because that's how you sound now.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the? How long does it? What's the process for you? Do you like sit down one day and you're like, all right, my shit, I've run my shit to like its brink, my old stuff. Do it, and I sit down and write, or do you like just randomly get a spark? How does your process work for you?
Are you talking in terms of a project?
Your creative process, your new album.
For an album? Okay. Yeah. So, look, man, I am, you know, in today's generation, like today's climate, I should say, you've got to be very consistent. And given the fractured state of our attention span, you've got to be pretty consistent. I haven't really been that consistent. I've dropped, you know, singles, but because I put a lot of weight in projects, I think you can either be a singles artist and you can really kill it with singles, or you can be a project artist, and you can really present a whole. There are certain artists who are just great at presenting a whole project and giving you a lot to think about and having themes and stuff like that. And I don't take anything away from whoever subscribes to which of those categories. For me, I think I'm probably more of a project rapper in terms of I like to sort of write a lot of music, curate a direction out of it, and then give you something that I hopefully is, you know, holds substance and can capture, you know, a moment or a subject or a feeling. Do you know what I mean? So I think ultimately what I do is you know, there was a few years ago I was working on my last album, Braille, and I was very torn between, because I'm different, bro. I love the game, like a lot of rappers, like Manaz, for example, right? Manaz just likes to rap. He doesn't like none of the industry shit. He doesn't like none of the extra shit. He just wants to express himself, and that's all he wants to do, which is absolutely fine, and he does really well with that. I love the industry shit as well. I love the creative shit. I love looking at an artist's rollout, their branding, and...
Would you say you're... Sorry for cutting you off. Would you say you're more like a technician / surgeon when it comes to it?
No, because...
Technician's the wrong word. You're more...
I'm analytical, bro. I love the whole game. I love looking at an artist and being like, that album was amazing, but did you see how they timed it with this like a version on Triple J, and it was lined up with this tour dates announcements and all of these things that make a moment in time as opposed to just a really cool release. Like I analyze things like that. So I sort of...
See, fucking Kanye does that so well.
There's a bunch of people who, you know, are great at it. So I think, you know, when I was working on my last album, because I am, like I say, you're either, you know, industry or you're in the scene, being that there's artists who, you know, have opportunities afforded to them given their ability to make connections and network and be, you know, what's the word, like digestible to the sort of the music industry as a whole, as opposed to just be a popper name in the scene. And I was always very torn between those two spaces because of my love of the music and the industry and the culture and the scene. I didn't really know where I fit. So I was working on my last album, Braille. I was thinking, should I have some joints, geared towards potential Triple J play and stuff like that. But ultimately, my fan base and all of the artists I associate with don't really occupy that. So how does that music translate when I'm performing? And, I just did my head in thinking about it and overthinking. And I come back to this phrase a lot of times in my life, and it is form follows function. And the idea behind it is all you have to do is function right and things will form around it. So instead of being like, oh, should I do a radio single or should I just bar it? I was like, just fucking rap, lad. Just write and record and keep doing it. And then something will crystallize out of that process. So that's what I did. And, I did that with Braille. And for Saviour Self, I did the same thing. I was just pumping out singles while I was putting aside other music that I could see kind of coming together into like puzzle pieces towards something, a greater whole, So, as things start to manifest, I start to see a direction and I start to see spaces that are lacking where I need something like that. A lot of times I'll hit Larry and be like, I need XYZ, type of like, for example, where I'm from, we spoke about that in the car, one of the songs on the album. Like that was a song that was probably one of the older songs, and it might not have made the album, but I was like, I need some up tempo type shit. Not that it's particularly up tempo, but
that's track 3, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was like, I need some more energy, more upbeat. I don't even think upbeat and up tempo are not the words that accurately represent that song, but I needed more energy. A lot of it was slower and deeper type shit. But I was like, to occupy this all of the sort of, frequencies and all of the dynamics that I like to reach with my music. That's why that song is on there. And it gives, I think, a sort of bird's eye view of some of the circumstances and dynamics that I cover on the album as well.
So you fucking like really delve like into it, like detail.
Well, you could perceive it like that, or you could just be like, well, if you watch a movie and you're like, there's an action scene, there's a romance, there's this and that, you kind of trying to hit all of these targets that we need as humans to sort of relate to something. What are our core sort of...
And you also want to take your fucking, like, when someone listens to an album, the best albums always take you on a journey.
That's my thing. I'm very big on curating, like, I'm big on sequencing the tracks and having it be a journey. If you listen to Saviour Self, the album's in halves. The first half of the album is, I don't want to say negative, but it's all about, what I was going through. It's all about, the trials and tribulations and the struggles and
then you fucking finish with fucking Homecoming.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like the credits rolling almost.
Yeah, that's sick. When you put it like that, that makes it so much better. Yeah.
You're listening halfway through the album, Self-Care, there's a prolonged sort of beat on the end because it's like a palate cleanser before you come into the more empowering, uplifting.
You're taking motherfuckers on a tasting menu.
Yeah, straight up. And then, even things like... because the overall theme of the album is, Save Yourself. It's about self-empowerment, self-determination. And, even a song like Homecoming, where it's just us barring out, it occupies a space of self-empowerment. It sounds like we're just rapping and barring out, but it's more about self-empowerment than being disparaging to others. Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of space that song occupies to me.
And when were you always a hip hop lad when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Or did you take inspiration from other music and shit?
To an extent, not like a lot of other people who are very eclectic in their tastes and stuff like that.
That's a fucking good word.
It is, yeah. I was actually looking for a way to use that today.
That's a very good word.
I was hoping you'd present me with that opportunity. But yeah, like I'm a very hip hop centric dude. You know what I mean? I could tell you about all the R&B and stuff I listen to, all the metal and stuff like that. And I do listen to a lot of different stuff, but it's not like I'm a well versed traveler of the multiverse of music. Yeah. I just know what I like, and I fucks with it, you know. But ultimately, like my older brothers liked a lot of metal stuff, so I liked a lot of punk and metal and stuff as I was a kid as well. My old man had a pretty diverse taste in music. He was the one who first showed me like Cypress Hill and also like, you know, he listened to a lot of Marilyn Manson and Rammstein and stuff like that.
That's a fucking good mix, eh?
You know, amongst with all the oldies, the Nirvanas and the Black Sabbath and all that sort of stuff, Pink Floyd, you know. But like ultimately, one day my brother took me to school in his fucking cool car, and he was listening to Dre 2001, and I was like, I like this.
Yeah, that's a good album to fucking get introduced.
Bro, I was looking at the charts the day my album dropped, and I was on the phone to my mate Cogs, and I was like seeing if the album charted. I was like, there's a fucking mistake. Dre 2001 is still number one.
No, it's not.
It's on the iTunes chart. It is, bro.
No way, really?
And I was like, how the fuck? Cogs was like, doesn't everyone have it? I was
What the fuck? Yeah. But that's such a timeless album. That's
100%.
Like, that's an
There's
album.
a reason it's still number one.
Because that's an album, even if kids are getting into hip-hop now and they're not how well-versed on it, they're going to always have to listen to that album.
The DNA of it is so strong and influential on the music of today, you know, and his connection, like Dre's connection to the generations of now and their respect for him is so strong that is still very relevant and significant, you know.
This is a good question for you. Who is your, do you have a top three? Are you one of them? I don't have a top three. I don't have a top three. You have a top three. You have a fucking top three.
It's you know, there's definitely a few names that are in rotation, you know, like it's definitely Jay-Z is probably my number one.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
No shit.
Yeah, he's definitely my goat. You know, Nas has always been up there, but with the
Nas should be in every single person's top 10.
With the little run he's been on in the last few years with Hit Boy, like he's definitely like solidified his spot probably in the top three. Lil Wayne's probably up in there as well for me as of this moment, just because of his influence, his consistency, his skill level, his originality. Like, yeah.
No shit. That's an interesting fucking top three.
Yeah.
None of the, not really. I wouldn't have expected Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, but I definitely would have expected Nas.
Why would you have not expected? What about me doesn't say that I like?
I don't know.
Jay-Z
Just I never think of Jay-Z at all. Really, I do know what though. I've never sat down and like really bumped Jay-Z.
No, that's stupid.
What's your favorite Jay-Z song?
There's a few. I'd say "Can't Knock the Hustle" is probably up there for me.
So you had you were stranded on a fucking desert island, and you had an iPod with one artist on it. You're gonna be bumping Jay-Z.
Yeah, it might be Jay-Z. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
No Eminem.
No, he's very influential in his earlier album runs.
Say it.
You know what I'm alluding to.
Say it, because I copped so much fucking. I got attacked by the fan club.
Well, why would I say it?
I got attacked. I made a clip. I made a clip, and all I said was, I understand why people think he's the best, but for me, I don't really like fuck with his new shit. I don't mind his old shit. All my favorite Eminem songs have D12 in them.
Interesting.
Like favorite Eminem song is Purple Pills. And that's a fucking D12 song.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think for me, like, it just doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't connect with me. I'm not going to shit on him and say that it's whack. Like, I listen to all his new releases just out of respect for the nostalgic value that he holds. And there's just not a place in my life where I would play it and listen to it again. Do you know what I mean? I listen to it like people watch the Olympics and you're like, wow, this is... rap performed to a very high standard. It's amazing. Like,
he's a surgeon. He's a definition of a surgeon.
Yeah, and
he's a technician.
I think probably, when he came off drugs and he's come out and publicly said he had to relearn how to rap. I think that, some of the edge that he lost from not being on drugs or from being under the influence, he's really had to hone in on the technicality of it, and he's become very great in that regard, but he's effectively kind of cancelled out some of the organic loose qualities that maybe a lot of people were attracted towards
You also
originally.
can't really do it anymore.
Well, the thing is as well, I think this is the thing about being an artist and listening to music. It kind of ruins the experience for you because you have seen behind the curtain and you know you can hear someone's influence on someone. So when I listen to him, the new wordplay, word association, like punchline schemes he has are very indicative of someone who's very much in tune with the battle rap culture. So I can kind of listen to it. And because that culture is so critical, man, of played out word play or what's regarded as a stretch or a reach in terms of like you try to make something work that you would never say in regular conversation for the sake of wordplay's sake.
Is that when you like twist a word to kind of
And
you're
it's just
twisting
kind of
words and shit?
contrived. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's a reach. It's just like I see where you're going with it, but there's no reason for you to do that aside from the self-indulgent nature of what you're trying to do. And I think, given that I have that critical lens from my life experience, it's
Fuck
it
you,
doesn't
man.
appeal to me.
You're going harder on him than I fucking did.
No, I'm not.
No, I see where you're
It
saying.
it just doesn't resonate with me. He's a great in his own right, and I'm not going to argue with anyone who has an alternating opinion because they're right in their own right.
Yeah, no, but and fucking. So, what do you think about the American rap scene at the moment?
I love it.
Really,
Yeah,
are you into the kind of new style of like you are?
I love all of
Like
it.
Lil
Bro.
Uzi Vert and all that.
Yep, I love it all.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I love all of it, bro, because there's room for everything. If I feel nostalgic and I want boom bap shit, I can go to listen to it, or I can go to listen to Griselda or any number of the new boom bap traditional sounding artists. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, what I like to listen to, like, it's it could change at any moment. So the more diversity and the more variety there is, it's better for me.
Yeah, no shit. I just can't. I think when that what killed it a little bit for me, what made me fall a tiny bit like out of love with rap, was when that mumble rap kind of phase was going through. When was that? Like maybe 6-7 years ago. Like all those SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah, but that was just that was something made up by people. Like even the phrase mumble rap, like it was all just sensationalism. Do you know what I mean? It never. Like, yeah, I guess it was popular with the kids at that time, but what do you care about what they're listening to, And that style, evolved into some stuff, and it all has a place, man. Like, I can't yuck your yum.
Oi, oi, oi. Where'd you get that?
I can't remember. Someone said it, and I was like, that's hilarious.
You watching that YouTube video? I seen that on a YouTube video the other day.
I can't remember what I heard about. I thought
Don't yuck my yum.
Yeah, I thought it was a good little
That's
thing.
a fucking good
ultimately,
quote.
all these people come out with this anti-mumble rap rhetoric like it was threatening fucking Big Daddy Kane's legacy. And it's just like, let the kids do their fucking thing, mate. Leave the kids alone.
Yeah, no shit. You're real fucking big on, like, everyone having their own...
Yeah, because that's what we wanted when we were kids.
Yeah.
All we wanted was to listen to our shit and not have someone talk down to us like we're fucking idiots. Like, and ultimately, I probably like more. Like, I listen to more American hip hop than anything else. I don't really listen to too much Aussie shit.
Do you fuck with grime?
Yeah, to an extent. Like, it's dope.
Mm.
I'm not deep into it. I couldn't tell you like, the pioneers or anything like that. But a grime song comes on and it's hard, and I like it, and I like the flows, I like the rhyme patterns, and I like the beats and stuff like that. It's dope.
Yeah, fucking. Do you do anything? Does this whole rap game like consume you? No, now that you got like a child and that would take up a lot of time. But do you have any like hobbies? Do you do anything just to shut off?
So that's a good question. So a few years ago during the pandemic, I jumped on this. It's like an audio chat room app called Clubhouse.
Audio chat room.
Yeah, so it's like a conference call. It's like lots of little rooms of conference calls between people just talking shit. And I never, like, growing up, like, I had a lot of, because I grew up independent of the system and stuff like that. I never really connected with any other people with vision impairments or disabilities. I had a lot of internalized ableism. I hated, like, associating.
You were born visually impaired?
Yeah, so it's a degenerative vision impairment that progressively got worse as I got older. And because, like, when I was in sort of reception year 1, they sort of put me in like a special class, like in the too hard pile, it kind of made me really resent a lot of other people with disabilities, as opposed to resenting the people who just whacked us all together there, even though we didn't really have crossover needs or anything like that. And so, like, you know, I've never really been in tune with the disabled, or let alone the blind community, because I've been mainstream schooled my whole life. I've been very, you know, independent and whatnot. And when I got on this app, I just so happened to tap into a few of the rooms of people with vision impairment. And one of the pitfalls of my sort of lack of willingness to engage with that community was it meant I missed out on some of the things that maybe would have made my life a lot easier, or you know, added value to my life. And so I found out on this app that there's this shit called audio description, which basically a lot of titles on Netflix have it, a lot of stuff on Disney, and some stuff on Amazon Prime. And basically it's like a narration for people with vision impairment that just dictates the visual action between the pre-existing dialogue on the show, and kind of just lets you know what's happening when there's no talking.
In extreme detail, though, eh?
Yeah, pretty good.
Because I remember you called Goobs when we were doing our second or first podcast, and you were asking him about which Avengers movie or whatever to watch, like which Marvel movie to watch.
All of them had audio description. I was like, all right, well, I know you really like this, mate. I'll give this a whale for you. I'll suss it out. And they've all got audio description. Tell me how to watch it, like in terms of the order and stuff like that.
So does Disney? So does Disney and Netflix and all that? Do most movies have that audio description?
Yeah, look, it's not most. There's a significant portion, particularly on Netflix. And
like AAA, like real good, like high end kind of movies, all would.
It's yes and no. A lot of like it's a nuanced conversation, because more and more titles are getting it, but the quality is getting shitter. Like some people will just outsource it to like AI and stuff like that, which as a person with a vision impairment, you're listening to your phone with voiceover, or you've got some form of screen reading tech assisting you through everyday life. You don't really want to hear that shit when you're fucking watching a movie and trying to unwind. You want to hear a human voice.
Yeah.
So my point is, coming back to your thought on your question in regards to do I have hobbies. So in the last 2 years, since finding out about this audio description, I've just been consuming series and movies, going through, looking at classics, going through, just watching.
Bro, that's a whole new world.
Shit. Yeah, bro.
That's a whole. What's your favorite? What's your favorite? What's the? Oh, not your favorite. What's the best one you've watched so far?
Oh man, that's so hard. Like obviously, like, you know, there's just certain shit. Like I think what, if anything, it might not even be a specific title. It's just given me an appreciation for certain just levels of like filmography that I couldn't comprehend beforehand. Like, you know, so one of the titles I watched early on was maybe, there's two that stick out in my mind. One being Peaky Blinders. I still haven't
seen past like the 4th, 5th episode of that.
Oh, that's really fucking good. And the other one was this Western. It was called The Harder They Fall, and you know, it's a cool movie. I'm not gonna like tell you it's revolutionary, but if you know anything about Westerns, they're very visual. They'll have like a 5-minute sequence of like a motherfucker walking into a country town and the sun shining off his gun, and every person's reaction to his entry into the saloon, and you know what I mean, all these real cool cinematic things. And I just was able to gain the you know, through the audio description, gain the fucking appreciation of that level of cinematography, you know. And that was really cool. So I really, obviously, you know, the first shit I was like, I fucking want to watch Breaking Bad, so I watched all Breaking Bad.
I was going to say the first thing you did was watch porn.
Well, it doesn't. There's a very small percentage of pornography that has audio.
You've sussed it. You've tried.
Oh yeah, fucking right.
But Breaking Bad doesn't have it.
It does have it.
It does.
I had to use what do you call it? Like a fucking what's the thing where you make it look like you're in America on the internet?
A VPN.
Yeah, VPN to get an American Netflix to watch it. Then I watched all Better Call Saul, and then I watched, you know, Peaky Blinders, House of Cards.
Did you watch Better Call Saul before Breaking Bad?
No, of course not.
But bro, I was saying, because I only watched Better Call Saul. Breaking Bad's probably one of my top 3 series of all time. I only watched Better Call Saul last year for the first time. I binge watched it.
And really good.
That would be sick to watch before Breaking Bad, I reckon, if you've never seen it.
I think it was better for me to watch it because it was like all these
Context.
little Easter eggs.
Yeah, you had but yeah, it works the other way around though.
I'm
like,
sure it does.
Yeah,
sure
it
does,
would be
but
sick.
I heartily enjoyed it, like being like, oh, that's Tuco. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean? Like,
fucking sick.
yeah. What was Yeah. There's apparently
The
new
Sopranos.
Nah, there's so many, like The Wire, The Sopranos.
Doesn't. What the fuck?
There's so many shows that I'm just like, oh, I just fucking want this. Or there's another one, The Shield. I used to like watching as a kid. Like fucking, that would be crazy. Dexter, you know, lots of shows like that.
And you said, so before you said this a bit ago, but you said a certain, like a word, and I only found out about this word
It was
like
eclectic.
No, it was eclectic. It was, so you said ableist and ableism.
Yeah.
I only heard about that last year. Like, forgive my fucking ignorance, but I'm a southern boy. I don't know about shit.
Most people are very
So can you just touch on I want to hear it from your mouth what that word means to you.
Well, it's interesting you bring it up because, like I said, it's something I wasn't even aware of properly until I was in these clubhouse spaces and I started to engage with the community a bit and find out a bit about it. And yeah, it is just like the discrimination towards people with disability, you know, like and in terms of like where we're at with all of the fight for equality and you know, what's the other word I'm looking for, like civil rights and stuff like that. It's a pretty underrepresented and marginalized community, you know, like there's, you know, the trans communities very prevalent in advocating and representing for their demographic. And, you know, we go through these parts of society where events take place and other marginalized communities have very strong representation. But in terms of that, you know, the disability, which is, you know, the disabled community is, from my understanding, it's 15% of the world. It's the largest marginalised community in the world, and it's, you know, not represented to that degree. And it's the only marginalised community you can join at any time.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
So yeah, that's what it is. And, you know, even within myself, like, I'm pretty liberal. Do you know what I mean? Like, but even I guess, and it's my own internalized ableism, don't really take it seriously as I should. You know what I mean? In terms of, I'm getting there in terms of the emphasis and importance on it and advocating for it. But like when I first heard it, I was just like, you know. But it also comes, interestingly, into identity politics. And that may or may not be an accurate phrase to use, so I apologize if it's not. But I actually had an understanding when there was a conversation in one of these rooms that they were talking about whether you identify as being disabled or not. And I don't identify as being disabled. Like, I don't wake up in my head. If you ask me who I am, I don't say I'm a blind person, I'm blah blah blah, because it describes me, it doesn't define me. So I was like in this room listening, and I was like, yeah, I don't actually identify as having a disability. It doesn't really occupy any part of my brain throughout the day, unless, you know, there's only a few instances. It's not a constant thing where I wake up and I'm like, oh fuck.
You definitely don't fucking feel sorry for yourself at all.
100%, yeah.
And that's fucking G-as, man, because then it's good for people to hear that, because there's a lot of fucking youngins that think they're fucking like freaks, or they're fucking like, they want to wake up and they want to, like, do you know what I mean? And it's good for them to hear from an older head that doesn't wake up and doesn't feel sorry for himself. Like,
there's nothing to feel sorry about. It doesn't impact my quality of life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really doesn't, bro.
Like that first night I met you and we got fucking blackout drunk, and you were fucking walking around navigating better than me. I'm bumping into shit.
But you know what I realised when I was having this thought in my head, this inner monologue, and I was thinking about, you know, the fact I don't identify as being disabled. You know what clicked in my head? How people can be like I'm not a man. I don't identify as a man, because it sounds, if you never have these thoughts, or you never have this thing where it applies to your life directly, you can't really fathom it. But when someone's like, "But you are blind," and I was like, "Yes, I am blind, but I don't identify."
You don't see it as a disadvantage.
Well, it doesn't identify me. It's
Yeah.
not who I am. It's like saying I'm a black T-shirt. You're not. You're wearing it, and it's something that someone could use to point you out in a crowd. But it's not who you are. And then I was like, I started to understand a bit more, and have a bit more understanding towards the trans plight and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a real interesting revelation to me.
So you said, what were you born with? A degenerative
Vision impairment.
Vision impairment.
It's called Leber's congenital amaurosis.
So could you see up until a point, a bit like
I could see
little?
significantly more, yeah. And then as I sort of would have growth spurts, from what my mom's told me, it would get progressively worse.
No shit. Do you remember when you had like a little bit of vision?
For sure, yeah.
You do?
I went through, having varying degrees of vision into my 20s, like.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Now it's pretty much the last the last time I went and got my sight checked. For some reason, I don't know why I fucking did this, but it was 2018.
I'm sorry for laughing.
No, it is hilarious.
But you're
it's
laughing.
So funny. It's funny, bro.
making me
It was 2018, and I had to get a doctor's verification of my sight condition for some reason, even though it's documented that there's no fucking cure for it and it's not reversing. I had to go and get a updated doctor's report check on my sight condition, and for some reason it landed on my birthday, so I went into my the place and I got it checked, and they're like, "Yeah, you're pretty much fully blind. You've got maybe 1%. You've got light perception," and it was just the shittiest news for my birthday, bro. I was like, "Wow, this is fucking."
It's the worst fucking eye test ever.
Yeah, well, it was just a fucking worst birthday. I was like, "Why would you do this today? Give yourself a fucking day, guys."
That's fucked. That is fucked. Would you say there is a surgery that could reverse it? Would you do it?
Sure.
You would?
Yeah, fucking if I'm not out of excuse me, not
Is
out
that me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not out of desperation and not out of a sense of being freed or rescued, but because it would be fucking interesting.
You'd fucking realise all your friends are hideous cunts.
You know what I'd do though? I'd probably get the surgery and not tell anyone.
See what motherfuckers do.
and I'd probably get it and just not tell anyone and just fucking live my life with the added benefit of actually being able to see.
Oh, that's G shit. That is fucking G shit. But yeah, fuck. What a hectic fucking thing. Because a lot of people, I wake up, I whinge all the fucking time. I'm such a whinger.
I guess I'm very much probably not a whinger. I'm very much a grim.
Did you find out any other cool shit? Are you still in these chat rooms?
No,
audio chat rooms?
Because we've come out of lockdown and stuff like that. I got a bit of life back, so I was sort of off it. And I feel like the popularity of the app's diminished significantly. But yeah, I'm not really on there as much. But I've definitely gained a level of awareness, and yeah, it's been cool applying it. But yeah, it is an interesting thing. You say you're a whinger and stuff like that, and it made me think about because the cliche thing that people always say is oh, you must be able to hear better, because I think it's a part of able-bodied people's way of feeling.
I'm so
feeling
guilty
better
of that.
about life is being but everything's equal, so you must have a fucking. But I think
it's just, when you grow up, you hit that stupid phrase: you lose one sense, you gain another. But it's probably not.
Well, I think this is something I've come to the conclusion of recently. I think you're probably a blind person, and I'm not the representative for all blind people, so maybe there is people who have fucking super hearing. I think you listen differently. And it's one of the things we spoke about when we first met.
You listen more.
Yeah, well, you just listen for different shit. You're not listening. It's not like I can hear a fucking pin drop 3 miles away. But I can, what I said to you, I listen to the pauses in conversation. I ascertain, people's moods despite what their words say based on the tonality of their voice or the hesitancy in their words. Or, I even, like, I feel like you can hear when somebody's not looking at you or when they're looking around, and do you know what I mean? Like,
no shit, yeah.
There's certain
Your perception of like where shit's at too is probably a lot better than mine, because I don't train myself to do that.
Well, they say like 80 to 85% of communication is non-verbal. Do you know what I mean? And I think you maybe when you become blind, because you can't just not be aware. Like there's no way you're just living off this 15 to 20% of communication. I think you become accustomed to picking up on that those non-verbal cues in other ways.
Yeah, no shit. That's funny you said that, because I've always been that dude. Like, surely the hearing, I don't know, because that's what when you grow up, you fucking, there's that saying, but you put it perfectly just then. You're just listening different.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, no
I
shit.
think so. Yeah.
No shit. Fucking love it. So in your boy band,
hardest boy band in the world.
So in your boy band,
yeah.
Who's the princess? Who's the one that's the hardest to work with?
I don't do this to me.
Say it. Because I'm telling you, there's no way it's Manaz.
I think there's a little princess in all of us.
There is.
Ultimately, we really haven't all been together in the same place to do it. To really ascertain our character roles like that. The Homecoming track, no one was in the same studio. None of it was recorded together.
No shit.
Every single one of us recorded in a different studio but in different situations, because our lives are very busy, So I guess we'll find that out soon as we start to work on whatever's next.
What is your favourite track on your new album?
So I want
or how about we'll phrase it different. Which one means the most to you?
Obviously I'd have to say Sunshine's probably up there, because it's a song to my son. And just the writing process was I wrote it in the first 2 weeks of him being alive, in a time where you're up every hour or two to give him a bottle. His mum would give him a feed, and then I'd put him back down so she could get some rest and stuff like that. So I'd just be writing in my head, and then go back to sleep and wake up and keep writing. So that was I have a fond memory attached to the writing process. Self-Care I really like, because it was very cathartic for me to write. I was really at rock bottom when I wrote it, and that was just definitely at the moment where it's all right, shit has to change from here. You can only go up, and I'm going to take some autonomy here and make positive changes to my life, because I really was sick of my own shit. So, I really like that song, and I really like SMS for probably similar
SMS
reasons.
is really cool, opening up the fucking album too.
Yeah, I felt like it was definitely an intro, so I really like that song.
We'll put one on. Let's put one on. Let's do a little listen party.
Are they going to be able to hear it?
Yeah, they'll be able to hear it. Do I have, before YouTube kicks me off, do I have permission to play this?
Well, you can do it, but
okay.
I don't just give permission to every person who plays my music in their videos.
I was going to say, can I have permission to play?
There's an algorithm that will fucking go through and do what it does. I don't know anything too much about that, to be honest with you. But let's give it a go.
We'll take the fucking risk. What's a banger? What is a banger? They're all fucking bangers.
Yeah, we'll play something you like.
We'll put on Sunshine.
Yeah. This beat's so good.
That is good.
Big ups to Larrikin. He produced the whole album. Do you want to just stop it when you hear a bar you want some information on or something?
I'm no longer scared to die. Truth be told, now that I'm a parent, I am terrified. Cause if I pass away, then who be there to guide you when you need direction? And who's gonna teach you how to swear and fight? In truth, I wanna be a positive influence. Cause everything that you're about to face, I've been through it. Through you, I got a second chance to live my childhood. And if I'm doing this again, I plan to make some improvements. Too many boys rushing to become a man. I know them when they're older, they gon' wish that they were young again. So take your time, and if you make some mistakes, it's fine. Just learn from them, only you govern your state of mind. Don't live your life afraid of a change. We all scared to be different, and that's what makes us the same. Pay respect where it is earned, and don't be scared to show love to everyone. Just learn not to expect it in return. Look, never talk unless you're sure you're being heard. If you want people to listen to you, then mean your words and speak with purpose. Money's cool, but it's something foolish people worship. It's just a tool. Don't value what you can't leave this earth with. Find your passion, a way to spend the time you have, and focus your energy on refining that. Mine was rapping. You might want to be like your father, but don't. While following my footsteps, you can forge a path for your own.
Do you enjoy listening to your music over?
Yeah, I think because the album's so fresh, to me, I haven't run it into the ground yet. Like, you know, it's
So your older shit's less easy. Like, it's not as palatable to you as like your newer shit.
I enjoy it all. You know, definitely a lot older shit. Like I'll cringe at like certain.
That's just growth, though. That's just anything.
Yeah. But my most recent, you know, few albums, I definitely still enjoy listening to. You know.
Yeah, no shit. The beats on these are fucking really good too.
Yeah, that's Larry, bro.
Have you ever delved into the beat making shit?
Larry's suggested that I would be good at it, and it's something that's I've always produced in terms of like, you know, I'll be the one to say, let's put that beat drop, let's filter these drums out.
You've overseen shit.
Like, yeah, or I've like when we've got the stems, I'll be like, let's strip this bit out for that. You know what I mean? But I've never made a beat from scratch. But I am big on producing, but not actually making of the beats. I just don't have time to delve into it and get good at it, unfortunately. But
Yeah, no shit.
fortunately, I have a talented beat maker in my team. You know.
And for anyone who hasn't heard, this is my favorite song on the album, and it's fucking one of the best songs I've actually heard from all of you boys. To be honest,
man.
I think you went so hard on it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's crazy because as I was getting the verses back individually, I was like, how the fuck is this gonna work, bro? I just couldn't see it coming together. And then the first day, Prospects
So good.
got like the last verse in the email. He just whacked it all together, unmixed, and I was like, oh yeah, this sounds sick.
So I don't want to hear you use strong language, let alone try and talk tough. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. I'm Basquiat in the art of war, but I draw blood. And I'm still a sarcastic smart aleck, quit sharp as a sharp throwers as a glass at his half savage and ball back. I can't help it. If you spit some shit that's half filtered, we just laugh at it.
Benops is so fucking good.
Yep. It is ridiculous.
He's a hot cunt too.
I'll take your word for it.
He's got a film clip for this too, eh?
Yeah.
Who filmed it?
I had my guy Lucky Hamill from Hobart flying, and he shot all the videos for the album in 1 week.
No shit.
Yeah, and we shot a little mini-series breaking all the singles down as well. So we shot like 8 videos in that real hot week we had the other month. Well,
I remember you fucking posting on was it Instagram or something on one of your stories that you were grinding.
yeah, we literally smashed it all out in fucking a week, bro.
That's fucking good shit, man. How long did it take you to write your album?
It's because like when I started writing, wasn't like sitting down and being like, I'm writing an album. It's a bit hard to say. So for example, Sunshine, I wrote probably maybe like June of 2019. But then there's a track like what was probably the last track I wrote. Yeah, it's hard to say. So I guess I've probably been working on it since my last one in terms of like just writing, but there's a lot of material that didn't make it. Like I've probably got another album or two's worth of music sitting there,
No shit. So obviously with phones now and like text to talk, it makes your fucking life a hell heaps easier.
Yeah, but I don't write like that. I write in my head.
You don't write down any notes or
occasionally, like sometimes because as you get older, like you get busier and stuff
you
like
forget
that.
Shit.
Yeah, so occasionally if I'm not like sitting down and be like I'm writing or pacing around, that's how I write a lot of the times. I just pace around because someone once told me. Yeah, someone once told me.
When you're moving, when you exercise, you retain more information.
Well, someone once told me motion creates emotion, and it sounded cool, so I kind of believe it.
Well, that's true because I think they did a massive study on it that so say you're on a jog or you're on the treadmill or something.
Yeah.
Your brain's firing differently, so you retain heaps more information when you're active.
That makes sense because I write a lot of shit on walks. So yeah, you know, like I'll think of it, and occasionally if just a random bar will come in, like yesterday, I can't remember, I might have been like hanging with my son or something, and randomly just this little 4-bar scheme come into my head, and I was like, the number of times when I've been like, oh, what was that fuck, it was the best bar ever, and I like get angry, so I do just like whack it in my notes or like or just chuck it on my laptop or whatever, but like generally like what I'll do is sometimes I'll just piece bars together like that and just go through my notes and be, if I'm like stuck and I want to write, I'll just be like, well, you've got like fucking 100 notes in your fucking phone of shit that you've never used. Like you can piece that together into something. And a lot of times, like it comes together really well because I can just dig through and find all the shit that is on the related subject matter or fits together, you know. But primarily what I do is I just fucking put the beat on or have an idea of what I would like to rap to in my head and then just think through it in my mind, you know.
So when you were younger, obviously there wasn't as much fucking technology.
That's probably where it develops, you know.
I was going to say you would have had to, unless you wrote it down in Braille. But
no, but I never really used Braille. Like
you don't?
To be easy. Like I always use a laptop because there was JAWS, which is screen reading technology, so I could just write on a laptop like any other person, and it would just read it out. Do you know what I mean? But like,
you're not that fucking old. I was going to say it was pen and paper days.
Yeah, but even then, it was just like it's just writing isn't convenient for me. Like it's a lot of the best shit comes to you like at times where it's not practical to go and grab a laptop and you know what I mean. So like I just got good at like, especially when I was younger, I was a little terrorist, bro. So I was out and about and I would always be here doing this and that and walking around and getting into trouble and shit. So I'd always just be like writing in my head, you know what I mean? So it developed out of necessity, and you know I'm far from the only person who does it. You know, Jay-Z developed the same thing of
he doesn't write down anything, does he?
No.
I think I've seen an interview with him pretty recently as well, and he's like, "Nah, all my bars are in my head."
Yeah, that's how he did it because he developed it from being on the block and selling drugs, and you can't go off and be like, I've got to write these bars down. You know what I mean? Like miss out on customers. So he just developed that way of writing, you know, and he's probably the most famous example of it.
I got your top 3 before. Who's your top 3 most overrated?
I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to do that. You're too much of a fucking sweetie, eh? You're such a sweet, gentle soul.
No, it's just needless drama, bro. As I got older, I was just like, why would I entertain such fuckery?
You have them in your head, though. You have them firing in
I honestly don't, bro.
You don't?
This is how I know I'm grown up.
You are. You're a fucking adult.
I honestly haven't. I couldn't. It's the only reason I'm not answering truthfully. It's not because I can't be fucked with it. It's because I just don't give that sort of stuff my mental energy, my time and energy and attention. It's too important to.
I still got some hate in me. I'm still a bit younger though, I think.
I still got a bit of pettiness. Definitely the beast comes out on occasion. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll respond.
Spite's my favourite emotion. If you can call spite an emotion, that's my favourite one.
Excuse me. It used to be mine, bro. Definitely.
I have a list of motherfuckers that didn't reply to me to come on the podcast, and if this podcast ever does anything, I've got a special place on the wall to put that list.
When I was young, particularly like in my teens and early 20s, like I was very spiteful. I was very vindictive, bro. Like I had a lot of hate in my heart, you know. That's probably why I excelled in the battle shit. Like, but as I matured, I got that hate out of my heart, and it freed me a lot, bro. Like because it's not a pleasant place to dwell. You know, it can be fun. Fucking oath.
Sometimes it's nice.
Yeah, sometimes it's definitely very fun, and like
sometimes it's warranted. Like it's not warranted, but sometimes like I don't know. You probably don't anymore, but do you remember those days when you woke up and you just wanted to be in a shit mood? Some days.
I identified pretty young, bro. Like because I think as an artist, being in a shit place leads to great fucking music. And I think I identified that at a certain stage. And I saw it from a few artists I looked up to and got a chance to know. And I was like, oh, you kind of fuck your life up to be in a state of perpetual dope creativity. And I just see the cost of that. So I don't really want to be in that. My aim is to improve my life circumstances, you know.
It's so true, though, because most people that are great and creative, they generally they're pretty fucking. Their lifestyles are pretty frantic, and they're pretty unstable people.
Yeah, bro. And on the flip side of that, you know, I started thinking recently, like, you gotta, because we all have darkness in us, a dark side to our personality, and you know, I think you got to embrace it to a certain extent. I think a lot of mishap in life comes from denying it and repressing it. And obviously, like, if you're inclined to hurt women or children or something like that, then that's not what I'm talking about. That's a problem, and I don't stand for that. But in terms of, like, you know, so much of my life, I really do practice, I guess stoicism and very live and let live, turn the other cheek ideology, because I just don't invest anything that doesn't directly impact my...
Stoicism's a fucking perfect word. Perfect word for you.
Yeah.
Because when I look at you, I can't tell what you're thinking until you crack that smile. I'm like, does he think that's funny? And then you crack that smile. I'm like, oh, well, gee.
Yeah.
You are very stoic.
Yeah. So
and you're like, and very, you think about things before you say them. You can tell, like, I can tell you're thinking about every word before you say it, kind of thing.
I try to, man.
Yeah.
I've tried to do.
And you're very
But there still is that part of me that is the...
You'll get down.
The spiteful little kid
Yeah.
who is just like, actually, fuck cunts.
Yeah, but as an artist, you always need that. You always have that in your pocket as an artist.
And it is fun sometimes. So I think what I've gotten good at is just knowing my outlets. So there's certain, like, relationship dynamics where I'm like, this, we can roast. Do you know what I mean? Or we can laugh about some ignorant shit, and I can let it out here, because that way it doesn't manifest in other parts of my life unexpectedly. Do you know what I mean? I think that was once I was like, bro, I'm not just hiding this little motherfucker away. I'm gonna give him chances to play, and then I'm gonna get back to being the responsible fucking adult that I desire to be.
No, I'm happy you finally came on, because it's good. Like, the more I talk to you and shit, you're a hell cool fucking wise dude. Yeah, and Goobsy told me, he's like, dude, Manaz is like the wisest motherfucker you'll ever meet in your life. And same as Monops. Monops is like, fuck it, dude, he's just a Yoda.
I'm not, bro. I'm just trying to be less dumb.
Yeah, but do you know what? You're less dumb is smarter than me. That's right.
I'm definitely not wise, man. I'm just making a concerted effort to be less dumb. That's what I think, anyway.
This is completely fucking off topic,
Yeah.
but back to the descriptive audio.
Yeah.
Have you seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
That's on my to-watch list.
I watched it for the first time in years last night, and that movie does not age ever.
Okay.
The first three don't age. The fourth one and fifth one a bit shit, I think, but the first three, fuck, bro, so good.
Okay, that's what I watched. There's a show as well called Your Honor.
Your Honor's so good.
Yeah, so this is so funny because I was listening to a podcast and they were just raving about how good it is, and so I googled it. I was like, it's on Stan. Stan doesn't really have too much audio description. The first season of Underbelly is audio described, so I actually really enjoyed watching that. But then none of the other seasons of Underbelly.
First season's the best season.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. But yeah, so I cancelled my Stan subscription, and then I seen Your Honor was on Stan, and Goobsy was with me today. I was like, you got Stan? And he's like, yeah. I was like, can you look up and see if Your Honor's got audio description? He's like, yeah, it does. I was like, fuck, I gotta get Stan again.
Have you watched all of it?
I haven't watched any of it. It's on my... It's
very
like,
good.
Now I'm going to get fucking Stan just to watch that and then fuck it off.
Bryan Cranston plays a very similar character to Walter White.
Yeah.
But like not the same, so it's not like he's just reprising the role.
Yeah.
He does it. He's just perfect. He plays that I don't know what you'd call it, just that morally fucking broken.
Well, it's kind of the anti-hero.
Oh, he plays it so well, bro.
No, it's not an anti-hero. He's kind of an everyman, I guess. Like,
and there's 2 seasons now.
Yeah, I think that's all they're doing.
Yeah, they are.
And I think from what the feedback I heard is that that's really good. Like, they've just nailed it.
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, but I think it's finished now. I think so.
Yeah, I think it actually has.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to watch that. What's some of the other shit I've watched and really liked? I really liked, at the moment, from my wind down, because my brain just runs a million miles an hour. Like, I just wind down and just watch a couple episodes of Family Guy. So I was like, looking at it.
Oh, do you need it?
It does have it.
It does.
But the thing is, I went and I like looked at for some reason I just like when I went, because it just shows the most recent season, and it didn't come up as having audio description, but I was like, I'll just play it anyway. I'll be able to enjoy it without it. Like I watched it when I was younger and it was still hilarious. And then audio description was on it, and then I realized it's not listed as having it because
That's fucking dog.
they've done it in but it's not listed as having it because the first however many series doesn't. So I'm watching it backwards until they stop doing. But you know what I mean? Like until it just
Does
isn't
South
there
Park
one
have
day.
it?
And what streaming platform is it on?
South Park's on Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount's garbage for it. I
It
literally signed up for it the other day because I wanted to watch. The Halo one. I wanted to watch Mayor of Kingstown, and I wanted to watch what's the other, Tulsa King.
Is Tulsa King with fucking Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you who's in it, man. But I wanted to watch those three things, and I looked up there's like a fucking directory of titles that have audio description, but it's only in America. So when I got it and signed into Paramount Plus, the Australian version didn't have the audio description, and then when I re-signed up for the VPN, it was just like, due to your country restrictions, you can't access this content. I was like, this is fucking whack, bro.
Oh, we'll get around that. You can get around that somehow. We'll ask that ChatGPT. You found out that shit yet?
I've heard all about it. Yeah, I've heard it's incredible.
You can get it to write you bars.
Yeah.
It's in. Oh, you wouldn't.
Somebody said a really good thing the other day. They were like, why are we outsourcing all the creative shit? Like, this is the stuff
change the game, bro.
But this is the stuff that we want to do as humans. It's like, if you could outsource fucking cleaning the toilet to an AI, sick. Now we've got more like room to create and do the things that actually bring us fulfillment and joy. You don't want to outsource those things. You know what I mean?
It's
like
fucking insane. I'll bring up a video you can listen to. I'll try and get it up. It's this David Guetta?
Yeah.
He fucking made a song. He made a whole song through ChatGPT and AI voices now, because the AI voices are getting insane.
Yeah, I heard like a Kendrick Lamar one the other day. One of the artists I collaborated with, my guy Cortex from Perth, we dropped a single a couple months ago, and he had AI do the artwork.
Yeah, the AI artwork's fucking insane, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting. He was saying like in the early stages of it, they would like develop pictures of like a party, and you'd just see like fucking people with like 40 teeth and like fucking 60 teeth and like 3 hands, but it's gotten real good. But does it scare you where this is going? You know where this is going.
It doesn't scare me. See, I had on an AI expert that worked with NASA and all that on the other day.
Yeah,
and he said essentially what he said is people will have to put it to a position. People will be the problem.
Yeah,
like people will be the problem, but creatives are fucked. Like creative people, creative minds, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Because you can literally, like now, the music industry, this is all brand new, and have a look how good it is. Imagine it in 3 years. You're not going to have to pay anyone for fucking rights anymore. You're not going to have to...
Did you see that like the first AI rapper got signed and dropped within like a day?
Yeah, but I mean more for like features. Say you want fucking a feature on your song and they don't want to fucking do it. You can type in lyrics into a machine now and it just does their voice.
What do you think will be the first AI terrorist attack? Like in terms of, I don't mean like AI actually going rogue. I mean like
them using it.
Yeah, where it will be like fucking someone makes a video.
Well, they could do espionage now. Like, is that espionage?
I guess that's what I'm thinking. Is like making a video of a politician doing some fuck shit.
Can't tell me they don't do that now.
Well, deep fakes have been a thing. We've seen that Kendrick Lamar video from last year.
Those deep fakes are getting fucking hectic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like the fake.
We are in the era now where you can't trust what you hear or see at all.
I think it's this song. Yeah, it is. Oh, wait.
I actually feel like I heard an Eminem AI like a year and a half ago before.
So David Guetta put into ChatGPT. He put in Fuck, what's that? Why did they do that? Go back. He put in make a Eminem beat, make an Eminem song for a rave beat of him talking about the future of rave music, and he put what he said into a voice generator.
Yeah.
And he got this. Where is it? You can't. Oh, wait, it skipped ahead. That's why. Here we go to the start.
This is the future rave sound. I'm getting lost in an underground. This is the future rave sound. I'm getting lost in an
You can't tell me that's almost indistinguishable.
It's
It sounds robotic.
Well, it just sounds
But
like
it's
it's poor
techno.
quality. It sounds like someone recorded a phone recording off of YouTube from a phone recording of a live show. You know what I mean? Like, it's just put bad quality. Aside from that,
It's still in its infancy.
accurate,
So
yeah,
how
it's-
crazy is
Yeah,
that, bro?
100%.
It's insane. It's
Dude.
insane.
Did you get an AI on the show?
Oh, yeah, fuck
Bro,
yeah, bro.
that's the viral one that you're waiting for.
I'll
right
just
there.
get Koobsy to hold ChatGPT up. across the
100%,
table.
bro.
Oh, it's getting weird though. But like you said, I'm for it. I want to see. I want to ride this out.
It's inevitable. Like, we just gotta see what it's gonna get. And
I
I guess
think-
some boundaries will get crossed and some shit will get fucked up, and we'll learn. And that's
I
what
think
it'll
we're
be,
in
you know?
the coolest time to be alive ever.
You don't think everyone's thought that?
Well, not everyone, but in Australia, like if you're in like Syria, you're not like.
You know what? I was watching one of the shows I did watch. Someone hits and someone misses. I watched this show called Godless.
Never seen it.
It's on Netflix. It's like a Western show. Wasn't bad, but basically like it was just in the Western time zone. I was just watching the way these motherfuckers live, bro. And it's like, again, fuck, they got to get the water out of the well
You don't want
and
to do
break
that.
horses. I was like, every aspect of life is just fuckery. It's so hard.
Imagine
bro.
going to take a piss at night and you had to go to an outhouse and fucking nah.
Bro, and then like you fucking, God, I was just like watching. I was just like the things that they had to do just to live. I was like, this is unacceptable, bro.
Does Wolf of Wall Street have?
I think I have seen it. With that, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, bro, that's one of my anything with Leonardo DiCaprio is fucking good.
Yeah, I watched Django.
I only watched that for the first time last year. How good's it?
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Quentin Tarantino is
He's
like he's fucking amazing, but he goes hard in the paint with some words.
Yeah, but I guess it's like
He doesn't pull punches. I like it.
Yeah, but I think it's just like he's playing a character.
Yeah, he's fucking good though. Quentin's good. I only seen
his directorial style is it's definitely something I've got. Like I've always known it's renowned. Do you know what I mean? But I definitely gained an appreciation for it. I even watched Reservoir Dogs the other day.
Still haven't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, look, it's definitely aged. It was still good, but I was just like, oh, bro, if I'd watched this like 20 years ago, I would have had my mind blown. It was cool, and it's so heavily, like influenced a lot of stuff. A lot of things reference it. Do you know
But
what I mean?
because you're not looking at the visuals, do movies age the same through descriptive?
Yeah,
well?
they do. Like like through the audio quality or through like just the humor or the social norms, you know what I mean?
No
Like,
shit.
Yeah, 100%.
And just shit they say.
Yeah, shit they say is just like the, I don't know, like it's like one of the ones I still got to watch is Godfather. Like I got to watch the Godfather.
You need
but
a weekend for that.
Yeah, and it's just like it's a very.
I think you had to be there for
It's
the
like
Godfather.
it's just not action. There's no, do you know what I mean? That's what I mean by when like you couldn't just drop a movie like that now.
No, you had to be there for Godfather. I
Like
think.
it's just like it's. I remember trying to watch it on a plane, like to fucking America or something one time. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Bro, Interstellar.
Yeah, that's one I gotta watch. And another one's Inception.
I don't even know what's going on in that fucking movie. I probably need the descriptive fucking audio.
Thing
for
about
it.
movies is like I've got to because by the time I put my little man to bed, it's probably like 8 p.m. and then by the time for me to be fucking at my best, I've got to probably crash out by 10 or 11. So I'll be, getting to 9 o'clock looking at a movie. Some of these movies were 2.5, 3 hours long. I was just like, bro, I could just watch fucking a series or fucking. So I've got to really put time aside for a movie. Like there was a time when I had a bit more freedom, like free time to be able to. I really enjoyed smoking weed, bro. I never smoked weed when I had my son, but there was a period where the care dynamic was a bit different, and I would be able to have like a day or two and I could just go smoke a joint and I would just like watch a series or a movie or listen to some albums, and I was like the most fucking fun ever, bro. I'd get like little kids stoned and like,
Oh, how good
just
is I
zone
can't
in,
do it
bro.
anymore. I get too paranoid, eh?
yeah, well, I only did it a few times last year or the year before, whenever it was, but it was really fun. I just put my phone on do not disturb mode, and fuck, it was awesome.
And
bro.
you can get really into it,
yeah, bro.
and you appreciate movies a lot more when you start.
And even when you like just drift off and then you come back, you're like, whoa, what the fuck's happening?
What's that?
I didn't care. I loved that shit, bro. Like, I remember I listened to that last Kendrick Lamar album. I smoked a joint and just sat down and listened to it with the headphones on like I was watching a movie the whole way through. I was like, this shit is fucking transformative, man. That shit was monumental.
Well, it's getting late, so I won't keep you for too long, Manaz. I fucking appreciate you so much for coming on.
Likewise, brother. I appreciate you having me.
So freshen up, everyone. Throw your shit out. Get at it.
What?
Did that make sense?
No, it's like, what are we doing? Just a critique of people's fucking lives.
No. Just chill all your shit
I
out.
get it. Yeah. No, follow me on your social medias, Manaz Ill, wherever you listen to music, wherever you follow people. Suss it out. New album, Save Yourself, out now. Save Yourself tour tickets are now available as well. Jump over to my social medias. And I hope to catch some of you guys in person for the shows, because that's truly what I'm all about with the music is connecting with people, and live shows is one of the best ways of doing that. So I look forward to getting to kick it with everybody in person.
Easy, brother. Good job. I fucking appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Love, bro.
Peace.